Are you interested in a career in law enforcement? Maybe you're just looking for a way to serve your community. Do you want to make a difference? There's a way you can do all of these and leave a lasting impression on the community in which you live. Become a member of the La Crosse Police Reserve Unit. So who is the Reserve Unit made up of? The Reserve Unit is made up of your neighbors, coworkers, family, and friends. Citizens of the city of La Crosse who are interested in serving their community to make it a safer and better place for all of us to live.
Probably one of the biggest challenges facing law enforcement today is meeting increasing demands with limited and often diminishing resources. One way to approach that problem is by identifying new resources in the community. In fact, that is at the heart of community policing. And what police reserves are basically citizen volunteers who come to the police department, tell us of their interest in helping out in the community. We do a background check on them, we interview them, and we're able to put them in a police-type uniform. They don't carry guns, of course, but they do direct traffic and get involved in a lot of police-type activities. And this can be a real benefit to an individual seeking a career in law enforcement because it gives you that police perspective. It's an opportunity to actually work with police officers in an official law enforcement setting. So I think it's a win-win.
The benefit to the city of the Police Reserve Program is immense. To have 20 or so dedicated volunteers that serve the community of La Crosse is just a great asset. In these economic times, it's difficult. With the cut in resources and the cut of budgets, to have a core group of volunteers that help to supplement our agency. The reserves are really involved in a lot of different areas. Last year, I believe they had volunteered over 4,900 hours of volunteer service to this community and to our department. They're involved in a lot of things from our River Watch. They're down there every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, working events at the La Crosse Center to make sure people get across the street safely, working other events such as the polar plunge and fingerprinting of our youth, and just a lot of other things that they do for the community. It's a great asset. Basically, by having police reserves, they are doing a lot of the duties that a paid police officer would be doing. They're not armed, they're not out there answering calls per se, but they are taking a lot of things from traffic direction to assisting at accident scenes to working the La Crosse Center to make sure people cross the street safely. The La Crosse Police Reserve Program is really doing the job of the River Watch. They are the ones that have been there for several years, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. So again, without those reserves, we would have to dedicate our non-sworn civilian service personnel or our police officers to some of these duties. Assisting at parades and different runs and things are all duties that the police reserves do for us.
As a reserve officer, I participate in a variety of events in the La Crosse area. I might do traffic control for parades, La Crosse Center events, and even citywide marathons. I also patrol Riverside Park in an effort to eliminate problems in the park after hours. And I also do PR events for the department where you go out in the community and just meet people and just show a presence of the police department in a positive light. We had some down at Myrick Park for the Enchanted Forest where the kids come out for trick-or-treating, and I had a really good time there. The little kids come up and they just love hopping in the police car and looking around and listening to sirens and seeing the lights. And that's one of my favorite events, I think, of being on the reserves, was being able to being a part of that. One of the biggest things that had an impact on me as being a reserve, and it actually happens on a regular basis, is when I'm out doing traffic control events where maybe I have to stop traffic so people can cross the street safely, or maybe they're running down the street in a marathon. When the people pass by, they just look at you and smile and say thank you. That's something that, it just makes everything that I do that much more worth it. It's amazing to see, the appreciation from people, and it's amazing how good that feels. Just a simple, hey, thank you, I appreciate what you do. And that goes a long way, and that's what I really enjoy about it.
I think to measure a successful police reserve unit, you have to look at the volunteers. You have to look at the strength of their leadership, and you have to look at the commitment that the police agency has to that program. And I think if you wanted an example of that, you look at the La Crosse Police Reserve Program. Because they are an example of good leadership from the commander and assistant commander of the reserve program, who are police reserves themselves. They're volunteers. You have to look at the motivation and how many hours of time that these members dedicate to our community and to the department. A lot of the members are students, criminal justice students. It's a great thing for them. So they kind of get a taste of the law enforcement environment. They are wearing a uniform, so they get the feeling for operating in some of the functions of law enforcement, directing traffic and assisting at different events. So the Police Reserve Program, the success of that is measured by the quality of our volunteers and the service that they provide to our community.
Joining the reserves also gives you the opportunity to get a foot in the door on career, helps you network with officers and other people who have served, who are great to put on resumes, great to just overall know and be with. Again, just the sole purpose of serving the community, making a difference. A little cliched, but it definitely holds true with this program. But it's definitely a great social tool. You also learn skills, and you learn more about how a community operates than what the newspapers will tell you. You do see a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and it gives you an appreciation for the work that everybody in a public administration system does.
I would definitely recommend anybody who wants to get into law enforcement to become a reserve officer, because those people that are looking to get in law enforcement by being a reserve officer, you get a first-hand look at what a police officer's duties are, how the police department operates, and also gaining that experience. I also would recommend it to anybody who would maybe not be looking to get into law enforcement and who may be already established in their own career field, but who wants to become an active member of the community by being a part of a professional and well-respected organization like the La Crosse Police Reserve.
One of the things that we are looking for is the best quality individuals to apply to volunteer to provide a service for our community. And it's beneficial to our agency, it's beneficial to the La Crosse community, and it's beneficial to those individual members.
To find out more about becoming a La Crosse Police Reserve member, you can visit the La Crosse Police Reserve webpage or by contacting a liaison officer at the address and phone number on the screen.
I've been on the reserve for a little over a year and a half now, and I have enjoyed everything that I've done, and looking back, I would not change a single thing that I've done with the reserves, and I'm very proud and happy to work with everybody on the reserve unit.